here it is. He done send his chamberlain to go get her. And then she going to say, no, I ain't coming. You know how you sisters get. Hey, baby, why don't you go here with me? I just want you to be my man. Them your friends. I don't want to go. What's wrong with you just going with me just to be by my side? But because you don't want to go, you them ain't my friends. Them your friends. I ain't going. Brother sit there begging and he still won't go. What's wrong with you just coming with me? What's wrong with that? Why it got to be about my friends? Why it can't be about me and you? I just want you by my side. I want you to come with me. Y'all brothers know what I'm talking about. You sisters too. Skip on down because, hey, that was a price to pay for this. Because that was the king. This wasn't just no average guy. He was the king of a lot of land. So you know if that would have got out, what would have been done? People would have started punking him. Skip on down to verse 15 and read.
What shall we do unto the Queen Vashti?
Now he done brought all his noblemen and say, hey, man, what we going to do with this? Man, because she done did some bad stuff here. So he called his noblemen, and this is what they're going to come up with. Go ahead and read.
What shall we do unto the Queen Vashti according to law? Because she have not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlain. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only.
You know, you ain't just done wrong to the king. Go ahead and read.
But also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
Go ahead.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes.
See, and that's why it's so important for the sister of God to act like God say. Because they'll think, other women would think it's godly to go off all, you know, don't be subjected unto her husband. They think that's cool. But it's not. Go ahead and read.
When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not.
Now, yeah, go ahead and read.
Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
Because all it takes is one woman to start something. Girl, you better tell, I tell my husband this and I tell my husband that, and you should do the same thing. Next thing you know, you have a bunch of disobedient women. And brothers scratching a hole in their head. Man, what can I do? And then coming to daddy, can I leave her? No, you can't leave her. You stuck. Go ahead and read.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
You understand? And that's what would happen. So what I'm showing you this, sisters, is now this is just a mortal king. You understand? So imagine what the King of Kings going to do to you if you don't operate right. Think about what I'm saying. Because he is the one that ordained you to be subjective unto your husband. If your husband ain't acting right, hey, you just keep doing what is right. We're going to look at some of that. The Lord will deal with him. The Lord will deal into him. You know, I ain't telling you to let your husband guide you into a way that's wrong against God. No. Because God comes first. You know, you got to put God first. You know, if he's doing everything he's supposed to do, and he's walking in the word of God, hey, he earned that. He earned that. Let's look at it a little more. Let's go back to Ephesians. We're going to pick it up at verse 5, chapter 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 25. We're going back to this chapter. Keep your little marker there. I'm going to be in and out of this chapter. Because a man has to treat his wife a certain way also. Everybody have a role to play. Everybody have a role to play. And it's just that simple. Ephesians 5. And we're going to pick it up at verse 25. Ephesians 5 and verse 25. Ephesians 5 and 25. When you get there, brother, go ahead and read.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
And you husband, you got to love your wife to the point you have to be ready to die for them. Because I don't think nobody could, if they got a wife and they allow something to happen to her before their eyes, that'll torment them the rest of their life. That is why when your wife hears something at night, she wake you up, you got to get out there and go see what's wrong. She got to go talk crazy to some big 6'10" brother, 280 pounds. You got to stand up there and protect her. Because you got to be willing to die for her. You have to. Christ loved the church that he gave his life for it, and you have to be able to be ready to give your life for your wife. It's just that simple. That's deep, ain't it? Yes. But she earned it by being subjective unto you. Yes. Yes. Keep reading.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
And most of all, you got to have the word of God in there. If you want your marriage to operate right, sisters and brothers, the word of God has to be there. So if there arises a problem in the house, you can go back to the instructions and try to solve it. Because that is what cleans you up. Go ahead and read.
That he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
So you see that? And that is the way the Lord wants your marriage to be. When people see you married, they want to see God holy, without blemish. But in order to be like that, you got to have the word of God. And you most of all have to have the teachers of Jesus. Yeah. You have to. That is the must. Because that is what cleans you up. People should see Jesus when they see marriage, your marriage. Let's show them, Samson. Let's go to John. John, the 15th chapter. Because this word is what makes you clean. Operating in the word of God. That is what makes you clean, sisters and brothers. John 15. Because Jesus, he is the vine. He is the vine. John 15 and 1. When you get there, brother, go ahead and read.
I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away.
Go ahead.
And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
Well, how do we purge? How do we clean it up, brother? Read on.
Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
And that is how you are cleaned up, sisters and brothers, through the word of God. That is how God clean you up. And that is how God clean your marriage up, by you walking in the word of God. Like I said earlier, when people see a marriage and you call yourself servant of God, they should see God. They shouldn't see you going back and forth at each other. I know sometimes we get upset and we say some things we don't. That's natural. You know what I mean? But there is a certain way you must conduct yourself before the people. Because you are representing God. Let's go a little further. Let's go back to Ephesians, the 5th chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 28. Ephesians 5, we're going to pick it up at verse 28. Ephesians 5 and 28. Because the brothers, you got a way you must act and how you must treat your wife. Go ahead and read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
Now, you are not going to do no harm to yourself, brother. You are not going to do any harm to yourself, so why would you do any harm to your lady? What's important to you should be important to her, and what's important to her should be important to you. That is how a marriage works out. You have to give and take. It can't be one way all the time, and it can't be the other way all the time. You got to compromise. You have to come to some sort of happy medium.